Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on YouTube. Want to welcome you to the May 27th, 2023 Vinyl Treasure Show. Glad you can join Johnny G on this beautiful day here today. And it's our 50s and early 60s edition of the program. Lots of your requests tonight. Sit back for the next 3 hours and probably a little bit longer here. Got about 56 records to play tonight. But we opened up tonight with the same artist that we played last week. Now, we opened up last week with this saxophonist from Tulsa, Oklahoma, born Earl Bostic. He was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the tune was called Where or When. That was from July 56. Tonight we opened up with another one he did on Sid Nathan's King record label from June 57, a song he wrote called Exercise, something that Johnny G doesn't really do enough of, I have to say. It's from June of 1957, Earl Bostic and his orchestra on the King label. The song is called Exercise. We definitely get our exercise here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, at least playing records. My arm does. That it does. But so sit back, as I mentioned. You got to say hello to my mom. She's watching downstairs. She said, Johnny, please set me up when you go upstairs so I can read the chat. So she says hello to all of you. She wanted to write something to show you, but she is tuned in right now live to the program. But anyway, let's open up here tonight. We open up the vocal portion with actually the first two records are flip sides from last week. Up first is a flip of a 45 requested by Mike Sape last week. He sent it out to Randy Kayola by Mickey Tolliver and the Capitals, their group out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The side that Mike requested was Millie, but this is the intended A side written by Sylvester Bradford. Now, Sylvester Bradford, he was a member of a few groups. I think it was the Bradford Brothers on Rainbow, also the Ivories on Jaguar, and also the Suburbans on Baton. But this tune features 13-year-old Mickey Tolliver on lead. This came out on the Cindy label. We open up from July 57, Mickey Tolliver and the Capitals on the Cindy label. The song is called Rosemarie.
Rosemarie. Flower
July 1957 release there for Mickey Tolliver and the Capitals. 13-year-old. Yes, Leonard, a very mature 13-year-old there on lead. Rosemarie, the name of the tune. It's on the Cindy record label. Not many records on Cindy Records, but it's a great label to collect. The one that I can't really find a good copy of is Cloudburst. And every time I find that record, they play they just are not clean. I can't find a clean copy of Cloudburst on the original, of course. Oh, I forgot to mention, I saw Ryan Heisey mention it in the YouTube chat room that I finally made it up to 1,000 subscribers. I think 1,003. I think I got 3 more today. So we will be beginning with the 1 o'clock shows. I think I'm going to start it out on Monday. Not this Monday, next Monday, starting in June. I think Mondays and Fridays. I got to make sure I have it prepared ahead of time. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing first. I know that I know there's a whole bunch of people over in the UK want me to do the up tempos, but then I'm wondering if I don't know if I should do ballads on Friday. I don't know, but a lot of you guys and gals sent me suggestions. So there's a lot of things we can do, other genres of music in my collection. We'll see how it goes, but let's continue here. Here's another flip side from last week. I played a request for Nat Papagallo by the Demons on the Teenage label, the original version of Take Me As I Am. Of course, that one covered by the Duprees as a B-side. Now, that was a ballad. Now, the flip is an excellent jump tune. As we stay in 1957, it features Eddie Jones on lead. We go to August of 1957 for the Demons. Eddie Jones and the Demons on the Teenage label. It's called You Broke My Heart. That's Eddie Jones and the Demons there, August 1957. On the Teenage record label, You Broke My Heart is the name of the tune. I need one record on that teenage label, the Dolls. That record has eluded me. I have a lot of the other ones on there, even single artist stuff. Greg would call them label fillers, is what he told me. I even have the single artists on the Teenage record label, but I am missing that one. But that one there, of course, Eddie Jones would also be the lead singer of the Emersons, recorded for the Newport label, also I think on Cub, and also United Artists, and he would later have some solo releases on ABC, Paramount, and also on the Fairmount record label. Johnny G here on a Saturday. Thank you all for subscribing. We got up to the 1,000 level. I had to now register with YouTube. It's going to take them 30 days to approve like my registration of some sort. I don't know how that goes, but I got through steps 1 and 2. I did it last night before I went to bed. I tried that, so we'll see how that goes here. But yeah, actually, I have to tell you something. What happened was on the Wednesday night show, toward the end of the show, I was playing records, and I had, maybe because I had a lot of copyright issues, because what happens is, as I play the records, it rarely happens with these 1950s records, but I'm playing, I think I played a Marvelettes record. That was the first one that went out, and they said, due to copyright infringement, your stream may be blocked out. I'm going, okay, so they block it out, and it comes back in a minute. Well, once I finish the record, it comes back after a minute, and then it did it again. It did it 3 times, but of course, so it posted. So if you go back and look at the posting, it's all there. So why are they blacking it out when I'm on live? It makes no sense. It actually discourages the listeners, because when this happens, everybody bolts. So I don't know what their issue is. I'm playing the records. I own the records. I know we have to abide by the rules, but it's not that I'm making money on these records. So if you don't want me to make money on that record, then don't. I won't make any money. So that's the way it is. It's not for the money. It's for the love of the music is really what it is. Anyway, so let's continue here. As you know, we count down the music chronologically here on the 50s and early 60s edition. And we're going to open up here with this great group out of Durham, North Carolina. This is their second release on Bess Berman's Apollo record label, and a request for listener Gordy Freeman. He is in our YouTube chat room. I have it on, I'm calling it stunning red vinyl is what we'll call it. But it features the great voice of Eugene Mumford. It's their follow-up to When I Leave These Prison Walls. So, I remember Greg offered me this record maybe about 15 years ago when he offered it to me, because he upgraded it. So this has a couple pops in it, but it's really not that bad. I was really happy to get this record. But it's from May 1951. These are the Larks, Eugene Mumford and the Larks on the Apollo label, by request for Gordy Freeman, their classic called My Reverie.
Our love is a dream, but in my reverie, you can see that this dance was meant for me. Only a poor fool never schooled in a whirlpool. Our romance could be so cruel as you are to me. My love is as worthless as tin to me. Without you, life would never begin to be. Please dispense with formality as you loved me in my
As by request for Gordy Freeman there, the sound of the Larks, Eugene Mumford and the Larks, May 1951 on Bess Berman's Apollo record label, My Reverie. As we continue here, we move into 1952 with this request for listener Daniel Kubacki. Now, this group is out of Baltimore, Maryland, recorded 2 for Jerry Blaine's Jubilee record label. This is their second. It features Louis Buster Banks on lead. Have to apologize in advance on this 45. When I bought the record, it has an annoying heat swish in the beginning. It actually I should have put the weight on a little bit heavier because it might jump on this turntable. I think it does on this one. But it gets better as it goes on. It's actually a shame. But I have this on a nice mint 78, but I didn't want to change it to 78 while I'm playing the 45s, but we're going to give it a try here. This is from April 1952. This is going out to Daniel Kubacki in our YouTube chat room. The Marylanders with Louis Banks on lead on Jubilee Records. It's called Make Me Thrill Again.
In all of the world, there is no other girl. Say you will make me thrill, oh, make me thrill again. Through long, bitter years, broken heart, shedded tears. Say you will make me thrill, oh, make me thrill again.
Well, no matter what I did, well, nobody wanted me. Love song that I sang turned into blue memory.
Now all that is past, and I found you at last. Say you will make me thrill, oh, make me thrill again.
Well, no matter what I did, well, nobody wanted me. The love song that I sang turned into blue memory.
That's going out to Daniel Kubacki in our YouTube chat room. The sound of the Marylanders there. Louis Buster Banks on lead, April 1952 on Jerry Blaine's Jubilee Records. Make Me Thrill Again is the name of the tune. So you see, it had that's a heat swish from I don't know, possibly sunlight. Somebody left that record out in the sun, and what happens is when the sun hits the top of the top of the records, they're going to melt with the heat. They start to heat or something heated. The other side plays better, but that side is a little bit of annoyance in the beginning there. But other than that, the record is great as far as the sound quality goes. Anyway, what you're going to do as we continue here, we are 1953, been featuring this group from Winston-Salem, North Carolina over the last few weeks. Now, last week I played their 15th release on King Records called Messin' Up. I think that was for Big Dave Swinger. This week we have a request for Texas listener Jim Lampley. He requested their 4th release on Bess Berman's Apollo label, and both sides of this 45 were hits on the R&B chart. The flip side of this was called Help Me Somebody, which was a number one R&B hit. This side that Jim requested was also a hit, a number 5 on the R&B chart. Written by Loman Pauling, this features Johnny Tanner on lead from April 1952, going out to Jim Lampley in Texas, the 5 Royales on Apollo. It's called Crazy, Crazy, Crazy.
Sister named Millie. I like my gal Tilly, but Millie she acts so silly. Now ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? 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 Ain't that crazy? Oh, I'm talking all out of my head. Sister named Millie, a brother named Billy, a uncle named Willie, a mama. Now ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? Ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? Ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? Ain't that crazy? Crazy, ain't that crazy? Oh, I'm talking all out of my head. On Monday, and then she calls me honey. When I go to see her on Thursday, she tells me I'm so worrisome. Now ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? Ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? Ain't that crazy, crazy, crazy? Ain't that crazy, crazy? Crazy, ain't that crazy? Oh, I'm talking all out of my head.
As by request for Jim Lampley in Texas there, the sound of the 5 Royales, April 1953 release on Apollo Records. Johnny Tanner on lead. Crazy, Crazy, Crazy is the name of the tune. Johnny G getting crazy here on a Saturday night. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here, and maybe many of you having a a long weekend for Memorial Day. We will need to remember those of us that gave their lives for our freedom. That's really what Memorial Day is all about. And I wish maybe I could have done, well, we'll see. Maybe, no, that's going to be next week. I thought maybe I'd do something for Memorial Day. But anyway, let's continue here. We are in 1953. This is a request for listener Jimmy Amato in our YouTube chat room, this time on Sid Nathan's Federal label, as this group would change their name with their 10th release on Federal. I think it was called Work With Me, Annie. I think that was the one. They would change it to the Midnighters. And so not to be confused with the Five Royales, who Sid Nathan lured away from Apollo. We just heard them. He lured them away and brought them to King Records. But this is their sixth release on Federal Records. A song covered. Wait. Mess this up. There's sixth release and a cover song. This tune was first recorded back in 1941 by Al Donahue and his orchestra, but so many groups have recorded this song, and it features Charles Sutton on lead. This is by request for Jimmy Amato in our YouTube chat room. Let's go to March of 1953 for the Royals on Federal, and their rendition of the tune, The Shrine of Saint Cecilia, for Jimmy.
Our home is a shambles, all I treasured is gone. The town seemed deserted, everyone so forlorn. A storm came from above, but somehow it missed the shrine of Saint Cecilia. The bells in the chapel never ring anymore. The clock in the steeple can't tell time as before. But up on the hillside stands a place heaven blessed, the shrine of Saint Cecilia. Each day at eventide, I seek heaven from my daily care. You'll find me by her side. It seems so peaceful there. I kneel in my solitude and silently pray that heaven will protect you here and there'll come a day. The storm will be over and we'll meet once again at the shrine of Saint Cecilia.
As going out to Jimmy Amato there, the sound of the Royals, Charles Sutton and the Royals, March 1953, Sid Nathan's Federal record label, The Shrine of Saint Cecilia. Of course, the Harptones, they do an excellent version of that one. I see everybody, we're going to have to get that Harptones 45 on here. I had it on Sunday afternoon to fit in, but I had too many records. I mean, we'd be on till, 2 o'clock in the morning. We can't do that. We're trying so everybody can tune into the show at a, I know you guys are off. Maybe you don't have to do anything. Well, this church much tomorrow, really. But anyway, we continue. We are in 53. How about 53, Johnny? Back out to California we go with the sound of the Robins on RCA. This is for Ohio listener Bob Evans. It's their second of 6 for RCA. It features Grady Chapman on lead. It's going out to Bob Evans. April 53, the Robins on RCA. It's called Oh Why.
Oh, why?
Tell me why.
Why do you treat me like you do?
Like you do.
You made me love you like a fool.
Like a fool.
Now you tell me we are through.
Ah.
Oh, why?
Tell me why.
Why did you come into my life?
In my life.
And told my poor heart a lie.
Heart alive.
Now you leave me alone to cry. Oh, can't you understand the things we had planned for years and years to come? It's so hard to believe that you would break my heart the way you love me from the start. Oh, baby, why?
Tell me why.
Does everything happen to me?
Happen to me.
I'm always left behind.
Left behind.
With the blues all the time.
Oh, can't you understand the things we had planned for years and years to come? It's hard to believe that you would break my heart from the way you loved me from the start.
Oh, baby, why?
Tell me why.
Does everything happen to me?
Happen to me.
I'm always left behind.
Left behind.
With the blues all the time.
That's the great sound of the Robins on RCA by request for Bob Evans in Ohio, April 1953. Oh, why? Grady Chapman and the Robins, Oh Why, on the RCA record label. A couple months after this release, the Orchids recorded this for Sid Nathan's King record label. They did a cover of that a couple months later. I have that 45. I think I have featured it here on the program. Anyway, we continue now. We go into 1954 with a request for Angelo Papagallo, listening in the state of Maine. It's the debut single for this group from Washington, D.C. Came out on Bobby Robinson's Red Robin record label, and it features John Berry on lead. This is for Angelo. On Red Robin Records, these are the Rainbows from November 54, and their tune called Mary Lee.
Oh, I love you so.
November 1954, released there by the Rainbows by request for Angelo Papagallo in Maine. The Rainbows there on Red Robin. Mary Lee is the name of the tune. John Berry on lead for that one. Now, this song was reissued a couple of times. First, I think they leased it out to Cecil Steen and his Pilgrim label in February of 1956. Then Bobby Robinson, he reissued it on Fire back in 1960. That's probably with the 1960s revival of the music, and Slim Rose playing the records and his Times Square Records. It kind of revitalized this music. And I say that when Gus Gossard came along, that was the other kind of a resurrection of the music in the early 1970s when most of us, at least when I really got into it. But of course it started first in the early 1960s. But we want to continue with that trend right here on the Vinyltreasure show. So let's continue here. And here's a request for, I'm going to say he's a new listener in Philadelphia, and that is Paul Greco. It was interesting, Paul asking me questions about the show and a lot of things that he's learning about the chat room, etc. So he said, Johnny, I'm going to send you some requests. I said, that's fine, send me your requests and things that he knows about the music. So this was one that he sent me by the Spaniels. Now, I featured this side, I think in early March I played this. I think it was Butch Ford that requested it, but it's their fourth release on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. And I remember that because Marvin Pod, who was in our chat room, mentioned that this was the side that was played on the radio. So I don't know, Marvin, if you said Alan Freed played this side, because I think though, Marvin, I have somebody, I thought Marvin was my oldest listener, but I think I have someone that told me there's a year older than Marvin. So I forget who that was. I think it was. But anyway, so listen, Marvin grew up, a lot of us grew up listening to the music through the years. We're all different ages. I wish I heard it. My aunt heard it on the radio, but a lot of you have heard these songs on the radio, of course, while growing up. But this is a cool tune here. Most collectors play the flip side of this, called Let's Make Up. That's with Pookie Hudson on lead. But this was the A side. It features Willie C. Jackson on lead. He also wrote the tune, so this is going out to Paul in Philly. He is in our YouTube chat room. Paul Greco's his name, for September 1954. The Spaniels on VJ. It's called Play It Cool.
She wants with it. I said, give me a light. She said, look here, daddy. Don't you forget. A light's no good without a cigarette. Yeah, so Mary, she says, Willie, see, do you love me? Do you really? Do you really? Do you really love me? How many more years will it be before I
It's going out to Paul Greco in our YouTube chat room. The sound of the Spaniels there with Willie C. Jackson on lead, September 1954. Vivian Carter's VJ Records out of Chicago. Play it cool. Johnny G's always playing it cool on a Saturday night. We'll be joining Oldies and More radio beginning at midnight tonight. So let's continue now in 1954. We go back to the West Coast. This time for UK listener Indrajit Advani, and they dance to this song in the clubs out there in the UK. Now, we heard Grady Chapman a few records ago, the lead of the Robins with Oh Why. Here he is again, moonlighting, I think, on John Dolphin's Money record label with this group called the Suedes. Now, the song is called Don't Blooper. I'm looking at this and going, what is a blooper? Well, a blooper at that time was a slang word for a mistake. So anyway, hopefully Johnny G not doing any bloopers tonight. And didn't Dick Clark do a thing called bloopers on TV, I think? But that was with the videos and stuff. I guess it's the same thing. That's what it is. But anyway, this is for Indrajit. This one here from November 1954, Grady Chapman and the Suedes on the Money label. It's called Don't Blooper.
One cat pulled a blooper, and he got busted. Other cat blooper, and now he's not trusted. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't blooper. Just watch what you do and say. I had a real fine chick, but I drank too much wine. So take this friendly tip and keep a sober mind. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't blooper. Just watch what you do and say. So if you see my baby, tell her the score. I know I've been doing wrong, but I'm not gonna blooper no more. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't blooper. Just watch what you do and say.
I say, man, what do blooper mean? It means you goof.
Let you blooper. I got hot the other night, was a real gone treat. Everything was cool and tight until men walked the heat. Just don't blooper, blooper. Just don't blooper, blooper. Just don't blooper. Just watch what you do and say. Just then he took me downtown. I thought everything was keen until I went to see the judge. Said, son, what the blooper mean? Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't bloop, blooper. Just don't blooper. Just watch what you do and say. Watch what you do and say. Blooper. Watch what you do and say. Blooper.
You better listen to me now.
Blooper.
I'm not talking to you.
Blooper.
You hear?
That's going out to UK listener Indrajit Advani. There you go, November 1954, Grady Chapman and the Suedes on John Dolphin's Money record label out of L.A., California. Don't blooper. Johnny G trying not to blooper. I always blooper. I can tell you that much, but we continue now. We move into 1955 with a request for listener Daniel Kubacki. You all know this great group from Newport News, Virginia. After they left Aladdin, they signed with Capitol Records for 10 releases. Daniel requested their fifth. It features the great voice of Rudy West on lead with Howard Biggs and his orchestra. This charted number 4 on WVDA in Boston, Massachusetts. This is going out to Daniel Kubacki in our YouTube chat room, October 1955. Rudy West and the Five Keys on the Capitol label. It's called 'Cause You're My Lover.
Although the world is upside down and things are gloomy all around, still to you my heart is bound, 'cause you're my lover. Sometimes you're sweet and oh so mild. Sometimes you're mad and oh so wild. You treat me like I'm just a child, but you're my lover. What matters how you treat me, whether it's cruel or kind. You can kiss or beat me, I don't mind, unless you say you'll stay with me. I know my heart just won't be free. I found that you're my destiny. 'Cause you're my lover.
As Rudy West and the Five Keys, they're going out to Daniel Kubacki, October 1955, their 5th release on the Capitol label, 'Cause You're My Lover is the name of the tune. This is for all. Hopefully you love this type of music. You should be here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We're here from 9 to midnight every Saturday right here on YouTube. We'll be joining Oldies and More Radio beginning at midnight tonight. And we are in 1955. Now, on last week's Vinyl Treasure Show, I played a tune by Eloise Brooks and the Dreamers. Came out on Eddie and Leo Mesner's Aladdin record label. The song was called Charles, My Darling. Now, this Dreamers group, supposedly they're the same group that backed up Richard Berry. It was a listener, Frank Cassie, that wanted to hear the flip side here. So we're going to send it out to Frank Cassie. This one written by the lead singer here. Her name is Eloise Brooks. We go to October 1955 for Eloise Brooks and the Dreamers on Aladdin. The song is called My Plea. This is for Frank Cassie.
Love me.
my plea. You know I love you. There's no one above you. Thinking about you, can't live without you. Life would be blissful. I'm just being wasteful if you would only hear my plea. Oh, darling, love me. I love you so. Love me. My thoughts are where you go. So won't you please hear my plea? Darling, love me. I love you so. My thoughts are where you go. So won't you please hear my plea?
That's the great sound of Eloise Brooks and the Dreamers, going out to Frank Cassie in our YouTube chat room. October 1955 on the Aladdin label. My Plea is the name of the tune. Very hard record to find. A great two-sided 45 as we continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Now, on last week's show, I played a gospel 45, featured the Harmonizing Four on the Gotham label out of Philadelphia. The song was called The Lord's Prayer. That was from 1955. Received lots of great responses from playing that record, I have to say, so I thought I'd feature a few more. I actually got another request coming up later on in the program here. This time we go to Vivian Carter's VJ record label, as this group formed back in 1945. Now, Sam Cooke was a member of this group until 1950 when he joined the Soul Stirrers. He left this group to join the Soul Stirrers, and the lead singer that took his place was Johnny Taylor, who would also record with the Five Echoes on the VJ label and go on to have a whole bunch of soul singles into the 1990s. But I want to send this one out to Gordy Freeman and Bill Olb. This one from July 1955. Johnny Taylor on lead. These are the Highway QCs. The Highway QCs on VJ Records. The tune is called Somewhere to Lay My Head.
Whoa, I've had trials and tribulations. I've been buked and I've been soon my trials will be over. I want somewhere to lay my head. Lord, lay my head. Lay my head. Oh Lord, somewhere, Lord, somewhere, lay my head. When I'm through with all of these trials, I want somewhere to lay my head. I've been up, Lord, no, I've been down, I've been almost level to the ground. Whoa, Lord, Lord, to lay my head. Oh, Father, you know I want somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. I want somewhere. Lord, Lord, somewhere to lay my head. Somewhere to lay my head. head. When I'm through, Lord, child, somewhere to lay my head. And I've been beaut, Lord, I've been beaut, Lord, and you know, I've been scorned, I've been talked about. Sure as you want. Oh, somebody lay my head. Somebody lay my head. Somewhere lay my head. Somewhere lay my head.
Those are the Highway QCs there. Johnny Taylor on lead, July 1955 on the VJ record label, Somewhere to Lay My Head. We'll send that one out to Gordy Freeman and Bill O. Johnny G here on a Saturday. Let's continue here. Up next, a request for Bob Evans in Ohio. Now, the first time I heard this song was off a Chess LP. My Aunt Mary purchased an LP in early 1962, probably at Master's Department Store, if I'm not mistaken, and it was called Murray the K's Blasts from the Past. And this song was on that LP, and I just loved it. There were other things on there that she wanted. I think the Chantels, He's Gone. There was Been So Long. There were like records that she said to me she never had the 45's for. And this was one of them. And she actually taught me how to slow dance to this song. It came out on Al Benson's Parrot record label out of Chicago. This is their first of two on the Parrot label, written by the lead singer. His name is Gilbert Warren, by request for Bob Evans in Ohio, June 1955. These are the Orchids on Parrot. Their tune is called You're Everything to Me.
Well, darling, I love you, can't you see? You're never leaving me. You're everything to me.
You're everything to me.
Well, darling, you're the angel of my dream. In your eyes, love light gleam. You're everything to me. Well, my dear, when you're near,
Everything to me.
oh, yes, you know
That I love you so.
well, darling, you're the angel of my dream. In your eyes, love light gleam. You're everything to me. Well, darling, never leaving me. You're everything to me.
That's the sound of Gilbert Warren and the Orchids by request for Bob Evans in Ohio, June 1955 release on the Parrot label, You're Everything to Me. All four sides that they do are excellent, and they have some other unreleased stuff, I think, on that Parrot. I do have that. I bought that in Louis Silvani's store when he was in Dobbs Ferry. There's a Parrot CD with some unreleased material that states... there's a state CD also that has some great stuff by the Strollers, too, that they never put out. Too bad. But anyway, let's continue. Here we are in 1955, and on last week's Vinyltreasure show, I played the Penguins on the Mercury label for UK listener Amanda Williams, their third of 7 on Mercury, called Promises, Promises, Promises. That featured Dexter Tisby on lead. Listener Daryl Letts asked Johnny G to flip the 45 over. This tune, written by group member Curtis Williams. Dual leads on this, Dexter Tisby and Cleve Duncan. The dual leads on this song. This is for going out to Daryl. August 1955, the Penguins on Mercury. It's called Devil That I See.
Mars will follow you, dear, when you pass me so near. Devil that I see, you know just what you mean to me. I'm the victim of your charm. When I hold you in my arms, I don't care about the world, or what some people might say. I've had lots of trouble, but I love my baby anyway. Oh, devil that I see, you know just what you mean to me. I'm the victim of your charm. When I hold you in my arms, I don't care about the world, or what some people might say. I've had lots of trouble, but I love my baby anyway. Oh, devil that I see, you know just what you mean to me. I'm the victim of your charm. Oh, devil that I see, devil that I see.
That's going out to Daryl Letts. I like that tune there by the Penguins. Dexter Tisby, Cleve Duncan on lead the Penguins from August 1955 on the Mercury label, Devil That I See. Yes, sounding a little bit like Earth Angel, a little different. Remember, I first got that on a 78. I bought it from Glenn Fousel. I traded him, I think I told you guys and gals, I traded him 3 LPs, the Beatles versus the Four Seasons. I traded him their second LP on Capitol, and Tony Sheraton and the Beatles on MGM. They were really in nice shape, but he really wanted the poster in that Beatles versus the Four Seasons LP. I didn't have it, but I bought them I paid 15 cents for those 3 LPs, and I traded them he took a couple other ones out of my other LPs that I had, and maybe a little bit of cash, but he gave me about 678s. And when I was in there, I didn't have the 45 at the time. I was playing it over and over and over again. But anyway, I like that tune there by the Penguins. Johnny G here on a Saturday. Hope you're digging on the tunes. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll be doing 1 p.m. shows for those of you that are home relaxing. Of those of you that are still working, you'll have to watch, unless you cheat on your phone. You can do that. Ryan, if you're going to be working, you can cheat in on your phone. At least take a late lunch hour at 1 o'clock. You can tune into the program. Let's continue here. This is a request for Kenny Mack in our YouTube chat room. This group, you know this group from Harlem, New York. Their biggest hit, well, I think their biggest hit was, I don't think it was Speedo. I think it was that novelty tune, Peekaboo, I think was their biggest hit. But I look at it that Speedo was their biggest hit in my mind. But they had a number of excellent sides for Jerry Blaine's Josie record label between the years 1954 and 1960. Now, Kenny requested the B-side to their hit Speedo. And it's a cool ballad written by Chuck Willis. It's with Jesse Powell and his orchestra. It features Earl Wade on lead. We go to October of 1955 with a B-side for the Cadillacs, the B-side to Speedo. It's on the Josie label. It's called Let Me Explain for Kenny.
You are packed and you're ready to go. One side of the story, that's all you know. Let me explain, let me explain before you go. Yes, I would sing if somebody knew I was holding her hands, yes, thinking of you. Can I explain? Let me explain before you go. Haven't I been a good man? Haven't I been true to you? Oh, now you're leaving me all alone, and you take my heart with you. If you're gonna leave me, don't say goodbye. Don't look around, I don't want you to see me cry. Goodbye, baby, can I explain where you go? Haven't I been a good man? Haven't I been true to you? Oh, now you're leaving me all alone, and you take my heart with you. Oh, if you're gonna leave me, don't say goodbye. Don't look around, I don't want you to see me cry. Goodbye, baby, let me explain before you go.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there going out to Kenny Mack in our YouTube chat room. That's Earl Wade and the Cadillacs, October 1955 on the Josie label. Let Me Explain is the name of the tune. I think I agree with Butch. I like that side better than Speedo. Now, this song was also recorded by, believe it or not, I think, Butch, you mentioned it, Wanda Jackson did it in 1957 on the Capitol label, a decent cover of that tune, yes. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasures, up next, a request for listener Joe Shacatano in our YouTube chat room. We go to New Haven, Connecticut now. In 1955, this group, or I should say the male portion of this group, auditioned for Joe Davis. He was the owner of the JD record label, but he didn't like the lead singer of the group. He said, you know what, you guys have to come back with someone else doing the lead. So they did. They asked their neighbor, also out of New Haven, Connecticut, they asked her if she would join the group and be their lead singer. Her name was Ruby Whitaker, and this was their debut single. They accepted. They did the audition. He liked what he heard, and this was their first of two on Joe Davis's Davis label. This is by request for Joe Shacatano, May 1956. Let's give a listen to the Chestnuts. The Chestnuts with Ruby Whitaker on lead on Davis Records. It's called Love Is True for Joe.
Love is true in my heart, even though we're apart.
Love is true in my heart, even though we're apart. But my heart is longing for you, I think of the memories we have left behind, and I cry for you, for you. Yes, darling, for you. Oh, please forgive me, never doubt me. You know my love is true. Oh, my heart is still aching. I'll love you for the rest of my days. God above, I pray to thee, make his love only meet for my heart is aching for you. My love, yes, darling, for you.
By request for Joe Shacatano, whoops, in our YouTube. Here I am trying to. Johnny G did a blooper right there. Here I am turning on this record and not shutting off the other record there. Anyway, there you go. That's for Joe Shacatano in our YouTube chat room. The sound of Ruby Whittaker and the Chestnuts, May 1956 on Joe Davis's Davis Records. Love is True is the name of that one. Now, they would have other releases on Standard and El Dorado, and I think she had one on Mark X. I think it was basically the same group. I think the group was a different group backing her up on that Mark X, but I think it's pretty much the same. But when she left, the group, the Chestnuts, ended up backing up Bill Baker on a couple of his singles, I think on Drum Records, if I'm not mistaken. But we continue here. We are in 1956. Let's go to Detroit, Michigan now for this request for Ohio listener Chuck Mitchell in our YouTube chat room. It's on Leonard Chess's Chess label. The group included Ben Knight, Charles Sutton, William Witherspoon, and lead singer Stanley Mitchell. Collectively, they were known as Stanley Mitchell and the Tornadoes. Now, this tune written by Alonzo Tucker. This is by request for Chuck Mitchell. He wants to send this one out to listeners Butch Ford, Bob Evans, Johnny G, Mama Galindo, and everyone else that's tuned into the program here. By request for Chuck Mitchell, Stanley Mitchell and the Tornadoes from December 56 on Chess. It's called 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Where can my baby be? Hurry home, baby, and ease your daddy's misery. I'm worried, so worried. You've been gone such a long, long time. Hurry home, baby, before I lose my mind. I walk around just pacing the floor. Never slept a wink last night. Heard the last program on my radio. Hoping you'll come and knock on my door. Somebody, please tell me, where can my baby be? Hurry home, baby, and come back home to me. Back to hurry home, baby. And hurry home to me.
That's going out to Chuck Mitchell in our YouTube chat room there. That's the sound of Stanley Mitchell and the Tornadoes, December 1956 on Leonard Chess's Chess record label. 4 o'clock in the morning. Is it 4 o'clock in the morning to those two UK listeners, Tony and East End Mark in our YouTube chat room there? I don't know, maybe. But anyway, it's going out to Butch Ford, Bob Evans, Johnny G, Mom, and everyone else in the chat room. A cool tune there. They have 1 in 59, I think, on what is that, Bumblebee Records, I think, the one that came out by the Tornadoes. I think it's the same group there anyway. Let's continue here on Vinyltreasure. Let's go back to Chicago. This is a request for listener Mnon. This group had 4 releases on Leonard Allen's United record label. This is their third. It features Ralph Vernon on lead. This charted number 32 on WGES in Chicago, Illinois, September 1956. Let's give a listen to the Moroccos. The Moroccos on United. It's called Bang Goes My Heart.
Bang goes my heart every time we kiss. Never before have I known such a thrill like this. When you hold my hand, I understand. I love part of me, oh God. You held me back with all of your might, and a bang goes my heart. Kiss me hard and kiss me long, and that is what I know. That all this world and other some would never take me away from you. Something better than all the rest. I can't seem to let them apart. For when we kiss and embrace like this, so bang goes my heart.
Those are the Moroccos there, going out to listener Mnon, September 1956 on United Records out of Chicago. Bang Goes My Heart is the name of that tune. Ralph Vernon is the lead singer on that side. Now, ex-Flamingo member Solly McElroy was a member of this group. Now, actually, he's doing lead on the flip side. What is a Teenager's Prayer? I think we played that a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, requested by Jimmy Amato. But there you go, the Moroccos, Bang Goes My Heart for Mnon. We are in 1956, and this is a request for Big Dave Swinger in our YouTube chat room. Now, he requested the Ravens. Now, this Ravens group previously recorded as the Dixie Airs, the Dewdroppers, and the Bells. Now, this group included Willie Ray, Willis Sanders, Bob Cornegay, and the lead singer. His name is Joe Van Loan. They had 4 releases on Leonard Chess's Argo label. Let's give a listen to their first, with the great voice of Joe Van Loan on lead, from July 56, going out to Big Dave Swinger, the Ravens, on the Argo label. It's called Kneel and Pray.
When you've got all your folks all around you, got your strength to go on through the day, when no trouble got a place for your tired head to lay. When you still have enough to be giving, that's the time to kneel and pray. Some folks wait till the worst has to happen, till the last ever time takes away. Don't wait till on your door Satan's rapping. Now's the time to kneel. When you got all your folks all around you, got your strength to go on through the day, when no troubles and worries have found you, that's the time to kneel and
That's the sound of the Ravens there with Joe Van Loan on lead. It's going out to Big Dave Swinger in our YouTube chat room, July 1956. The Ravens on Argo. Kneel and Pray is the name of that tune. We move into 1957 now with this request for UK listener Amy Thomas. We head to Brooklyn, New York for this group. This group previously recorded as The Wheels on the Premium label, but they changed their name to The Federals, and they did two on Bobby Robinson's Fury record label. This was their next release that Amy requested on Sid Nathan's Deluxe label. It's actually a cover tune. This was first done by the Dell Vikings. They had a big hit with this record, but let's give a listen to this version by the Federals, going out to Amy Thomas. It features Rudy Anderson on lead from February 1957. The Federals on Deluxe with their rendition of the tune Come Go With Me for Amy.
Yes, love me, darling. Come go with me. Please don't send me way beyond the sea. I know, darling. So come go with me. Come into my heart. Tell me, darling, we will never part. I know, darling. So come go with me. Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say you'll never leave me. I'll say never. Yes, you really never.
Never give me a chance.
Come to my heart. Tell me, darling, we will never part. I know, darling. So come go with me. with me. Come grow with me. Come grow with me.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That one there going out to UK listener Amy Thomas. Sound of the Federals there. Rudy Anderson. Unmistakable voice, really, of Rudy Anderson and the Federals. February 1957 release on Deluxe. Their rendition of the Del Vikings hit Come Go With Me. Come Go With Johnny G. Thank you all for subscribing to the Vinyltreasure Show. As we now have 1,000 listeners, I'll be beginning my daily shows on Mondays and probably Fridays. I'll be doing it. We'll see. I'll have to go shopping on Thursdays. That's what I'll do. But it'll only be for 2 hours, though. Not more than 2 hours will the shows be. But let's continue here. And up next, a request for Maine listener Nat's younger brother, Angelo Papagallo, as we head to Newark, New Jersey for this group. Had 4 releases on Bobby Robinson's Fury record label. Angelo requested their debut single, their first record on Fury, co-written by the lead singer. Her name is Pearl McKinnon, and they were known as the Kodaks. The Kodaks, October 1957, the Kodaks for Angelo. It's called Little Boy and Girl.
Little boy and girl, oh, little boy and girl.
Little boy and girl, oh, little boy and girl, little boy and girl, who was walking hand in hand. Little girl said, boy, I really think it's grand. Oh, this is our first love. I really, truly first love. The little girl said, boy, I'm happy as can be. This really is a joy. Oh, you belong to me. Oh, this is our first love. I really, truly first love. I want to kiss him.
Oh, baby, no reminiscing, baby. Hey, girl, I love you.
Hey, little boy, I love you too. The little boy and girl who was walking hand in hand. The little girl said, boy, I really think it's grand. Oh, this is our first love. I really, truly first love.
Yeah.
I want to kiss him.
Oh, baby, no reminiscing, baby. Hey, girl, I love you.
Hey, little boy, I love you too. The little boy and girl who was walking hand in hand. The little girl says, boy, I really think it's grand. Oh, this is our first love. I really, truly first love.
That's going out to Angelo Papagallo in our YouTube chat room. The sound of Pearl McKinnon and the Kodaks. That's their first release on Bobby Robinson's Fury record label, October 1957. Little Boy and Girl, the name of the tune. I heard that first on the Gus Gossard Show. He used to play all the Kodaks records, and then then I think didn't Pearl McKinnon didn't she fill in as Frankie Lyman with the Teenagers, I think, for a number of years there when they were out doing the oldies circuit, I think. But I don't know if she's since passed away. I'm not sure of that, but I remember those records, listening to Gus Gossard in the early 1970s. We are in 1957 here. This is a request for listener Ronnie Sherman. I know he's watching Johnny G on probably his PC, I think, Frank, you mentioned to me. You know, there's others. Ryan Heisey, are you watching me on your TV? I know Tom Shaughnessy, it's either the tablet or the TV. I must look good on the TV. I don't know. Maybe I do. But this is for Ronnie Sherman. It's on Mike Gray's Bana label, B-A-N-A, a label out of Jersey City, New Jersey. Now, the lead on this, his name is Gus Gordon, and he first recorded in the late 1940s with Bill Johnson and the Musical Notes. But he's being backed up on this release by a group called the Darnells. So we go to October 1957 for lost my place, Gus Gordon and the Darnells on the Bana label. It's called In the Valley of the Roses. This is for Ronnie Sherman.
In the valley of the roses, long ago we fell in love. And I found among the roses all that I was dreaming of. We were planning to be married. Then you found somebody new. Then you left me to cry, left the roses to die, and you took my heart with you. Please bring back my lips, my love, so I may learn to kiss again. I may learn to kiss again. Please bring back my love, and say we'll share the bliss again. Then I'll gather all the roses for your bridal bouquet. In the valley of the roses, our love will find a way. Please bring back my lips, my love, so I may learn to kiss again. Please bring back my love, and say we'll share the bliss again. Then I'll gather all the roses for your bridal bouquet. In the valley of the roses, our love will find a way.
As going out to Ronnie Sherman there, that's Gus Gordon and the Darnells, October 1957. In the Valley of the Roses came out on the Bana record label, and I think he has he's originally from Savannah, Georgia. I think he has a solo release. I have it, I think, on IPS Records from 1959. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. We are in 57. These are the Five Royales. They return. We heard them earlier from April of 1953. Here they are from May of 1957. We heard them on Apollo with Crazy, Crazy, Crazy. Now, listener Jimmy Amato requested the group's 14th of 28 for Sid Nathan's King record label. It again written by Loman Pauling. He wrote the tune, again featuring Johnny Tanner on lead. This charted number 5 on KORD in, is it Pasco, Washington? Where's Warren when you need to ask him about that? But anyway, this is from March 57, going out to Jimmy Amato, the Five Royales on King. The song is called Think.
Think about the sacrifices that I made for you. Think of all the time that I spent with you. Think of all the good things that I done for you. Think of all the bad things I try not to do. So come on Think about the best thing, and maybe before you leave me, you realize I'm the one that loves you. How much of all your happiness have I really claimed? How many tears have you cried for which I was to blame? None I can remember which was my fault. I tried so hard to please you, at least that's what I thought. Come on, sugar, and think about the good thing. Think about the right thing. Think about the best thing, and maybe before you leave me, you realize I'm the one to love you.
As going out to Jimmy Amato in our YouTube chat room, the sound of Johnny Tanner and the Five Royales, May 1957 on King Records. Their tune called Think, which more people should be doing these days, but they don't now. You mentioned it, Darrell James Brown and his Famous Flames also covered this in 1960 on the Federal label, plus others, of course, as we move on here on Vinyl Treasures. And we fill a request for another UK listener, Eddie Votex. He wanted to hear this Cool Drifters tune. This actually, this was, well, I guess we can call this an R&B hit, really. This was number 69 on Billboard, number 10 on the Billboard R&B chart, and it's their follow-up to I Gotta Get Myself a Woman. And I'm talking about the Drifters on Atlantic. It's from January 1957. It features Johnny Moore on lead, a tune written by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. This is going out to Eddie Votex. The Drifters on Atlantic. Their tune is called Fools Fall in Love for Eddie.
Well, fools fall in love in a hurry. Fools give their hearts much too soon, just to play them two balls of stardust, just hang out one silly moon. And they've got their love torches burning, when they should be playing it cool. I used to laugh, but now I understand. Shake the hand of a brand new fool. Well, fools fall in love just like schoolgirls, blinded by rose-colored dreams. They build their castles on wishes, with only rainbows to beam.
That's going out to UK listener Eddie Votex, Sound of the Drifters there. With Johnny Moore on lead, the Drifters from January 57 on Atlantic Records. Fools Fall in Love is the name of the tune. As we continue here, got a request for Big Dave Swinger as we head to Detroit, Michigan to Devorah Brown's legendary Fortune record label. Now, this group recorded initially as the $5. Not only did they have their own releases, but they also backed up other Fortune recording artists like Andre Williams, Joe Weaver, Don Lane, Chet Oliver, Marsha Renee, and they also they did some of those backups as the Don Juans. Now on this 45, they get billed as Little Eddie and the Don Juans, but the lead singer on this Little Eddie, he is really Eddie Hurt. He is from Detroit, Michigan, from July 1957. This is going out to Big Dave Swinger, Little Eddie and the Don Juans on Fortune Records, a grainy press, by the way. It's called This Is a Miracle for Big Dave Swinger.
This is a miracle. Oh, yes, my love. This is the miracle that I dreamed of.
That's going out to Big Dave Swinger there, the sound of Little Eddie and the Don Juans. July 1957 on the Fortune label. This is a miracle. Wow, he was singing in a high voice. He's usually not that high. Not when he does like My Baby-O and those other ones that he does. It's like he's a little bit lower. He was trying to sing high on there, thought he was hurting himself. But anyways, unfortunate that little Eddie, he was shot and killed outside a $5 reunion gala in the early 1980s. Terrible thing to happen to him. You're going there to celebrate, the records that you recorded with Fortune Records, and somebody goes up to you and shoots you. That's really a terrible, terrible thing. But we remember him here on the Vinyltreasure show. Let's continue here. We are in 1957. Let's go back out to Los Angeles, California. This is a request for UK listener Mandy Williams. It's on Larry Mead's Vita record label. It's the, what number is this? I don't think this is the debut single, Charlene. But this group is named after a missile. Been featuring them quite often with a lot of the UK listeners, a lot of their up-tempo tunes. But they were named after a missile developed by the U.S. Air Force. It was called Titan, hence they were known as the Titans. And it features... Is this their first record on this? It can't be. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is their first release. I guess this is their debut single on the... I'm getting confused with the Colts. That's what I'm getting confused with. This is their debut single, their first of two on the Vita label. It features Curtis McNair on lead. This is going out to Mandy Williams. This one from January 57, the Titans on Vita. It's called Rhythm and Blues. For Mandy.
Snakes got a wiggle, so have you. Camel's got a hump with a lot of work to do. Venus had a shape that was out of this world. I got things to get all the girls that got the rhythm and blues. Yes, the rhythm and blues. Well, my feet's got the rhythm, my soul's got the rhythm and blues. Well, the cats in the jungle got a boom boom beat. The cats in the city got rhythm in their feet. Satchmo's got music in his soul. Brother Bean's got all the gold. I got the rhythm and blues. Yes, the rhythm and blues. Well, my feet's got the rhythm, my soul's got the rhythm and blues. Well, got a smile and you can see a mile when she walks. Everybody talks about the rhythm and blues. Yes, the rhythm and blues. Well, my feet's got the rhythm, my soul's got the rhythm and blues. Rhythm, rhythm and blues.
There you go. That one there going out to Mandy Williams, The Sound of the Titans. From January 1957 on the Vita label. Rhythm and Blues is the name of the tune. Their first of two. Curtis McNair on lead. He's the cousin to singer Barbara McNair. It's with Jack Collier and his orchestra and written by their manager, Cecil Count Carter, who wrote that tune. Let's continue here. And here is a request for Rick and Philly in our YouTube chat room as we go back to Baltimore, Maryland. This group was formed by Bill Pinkney after he was fired from the Drifters by their manager for asking for a raise. Well, there you go. You can't ask for a raise nowadays, right? He recruited ex-Drifter Bobby Hendricks to join this group, and they called themselves the Flyers. They had this lone release on the Atco label, the tune written by Charles Singleton and Rosemarie McCoy, and this is for Rick and Philly. Bobby Hendricks on lead. This is from March 1957. 1957. These are the Flyers on Atco Records. It's called My Only Desire for Rick.
My only desire, my dear, is to make you mine. It's been my desire, my dear, for a long, long time. I don't know how badly you need me. All I know is just how much I need you. For your love is the kind that could lead me to do the things I thought I couldn't do. That's why my only desire, my dear, is to win your heart. It's been my desire, my dear, from the very start. If you say you wouldn't be mine, I wouldn't want someone new. 'Cause my only desire is to have no one but you. No one but you. No one but you.
That's going out to Rick and Philly there. The nice sound there of Bobby Hendricks on lead with the Flyers, March 1957, My One Desire on Atco. I know George Tompkins loved that tune. Also, we'll send that one out in memory of the late George Tompkins. It was unfortunate that we lost Bobby Hendricks on March 25th of 2022. He passed away at age 84 from Alzheimer's, but what a great voice there on that song. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasures, we go back out to Pasadena, California with this request for Jimmy Amato. Now, this group's debut single came out on the Kicks label in October of 1954. I have that record. They were known as the Squires, recording for no, that's wait a minute, Kicks label. Then wait a minute, they were known as the Squires. They recorded also for Mambo, Vita, and Aladdin Records, and also as the Blue Jays on 3 EPs that they did on Dig. I think that was EP, a Dig EP. I have 2 of those, I think. I don't have all 3 because somebody requested a song off of one of those EPs, and I didn't have it. But this is on Eddie and Leo Mesner's Aladdin record label. This tune written by the lead singer. His name is Chester Pipkin. This is going out to a Jimmy Amato in the YouTube chat room. I like both sides of this record, but let's give a listen to this side here. The Squires from January 57 on Aladdin. It's called Dangling with My Heart. This is for Jimmy Amato.
miles apart. Hey there, baby, don't you know? Oh, you're looking mighty nice. Now I just wanna hold you, squeeze you, love you for the rest of my life. Can't you see I'm inviting a love that's exciting? For our love was meant to be. So stop trying to fight it, you can't deny it. For you were meant for me. Hey, hey, baby, don't you know? Oh, you're dangling with my heart. Now you're pulling strings like a puppeteer pulls the stars apart. Yeah.
Our love was meant to be. Don't try to fight it, you can't deny it. Our love was meant to be.
Hey there, baby, don't you know? Oh, you're dangling with my heart. Now you're pulling the strings like a puppeteer pulls his stars apart. Hey there, baby, don't you know? Oh, hey there, baby, don't you know? Oh, hey there, baby, don't you know? Oh,
Baby, don't you know?
January 1957 release there for the Squires. The Squires going out to Jimmy Amato on the Aladdin label. Dangling with My Heart is the name of that tune there. Chester Pipkin on lead. The flip side is a nice cover of the Youngsters tune Dreamy Eyes. There's a bunch of the groups that have recorded that song, Dreamy Eyes. Johnny G here on a Saturday. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the thumbs up if you like what you hear, and also click the bell to get email notifications when Johnny G will be going live. I'll be going live in January, that first Monday in January at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Johnny G will be on with a show. I'll put it in the upcoming shows. You'll see what it is in there. In the title, it should explain it. But let's continue here. Here's a request for Butch Ford, listening in Hawaii. I really like this ballad, this group. They're from Dayton, Ohio. First recorded back in 1956 for the Hudson label, but they followed that release with one on Arc Records. I'm spinning their third overall release that came out on Phil Rose and Lou Sprung's Glory label. The tune written by James Crosby. He is actually the lead singer on this. This is from October 1958. Introducing the Dusters, it says, on the label. This is for Butch Ford on the Glory label. It's called Darling Love for Butch.
Yeah.
How I long to hold you
That's the great sound of the Dusters there. That's going out to Butch Ford. They're out of Dayton, Ohio. It features James Crosby on lead, October 1958, and Glory Records' Darling Love. That's my kind of ballad. Bought that from Chris Ciccone a long, long time ago at one of probably the county center here in White Plains. They used to have record shows every couple of months, and I used to pick up some. Chris was always a little bit expensive. He never really gave me a big break, and it was funny because Mike Demersion, Mike and Carol came from Watertown, Massachusetts. They came in, and everybody flooded their table, and nobody went to see Chris's stuff. And then he disappeared from the show. He didn't come up with Phyllis anymore. I used to see him at the Allentown show when I used to go to that show. Anyway, let's continue here. And up next, a request for listener Amnon. This group from Hempstead, New York, came out on Bob Shad's Warner record label, tune written by Leroy Kirkland and Bill Tennyson. Now, this quartet had a female lead with male backing. The members were Teddy Jackson, Lazarus Moore, George Taylor, and lead singer Dolores Butler. Collectively, they were known as the Mighty Jupiters. We go to February 1958 for the Mighty Jupiters. This is for Amnon. It's on Warner Records. It's called High Walkie Tumba for Amnon.
I walkie tumba, little tumba. I walkie tumba, little tumba. I walkie tumba, little tumba. I walkie tumba, little tumba.
Love came to me when I first met you. I know that this is the real thing. Oh, you know, I love you so. Oh, you know, I'll never let you go. Oh, I had no love till I first met you. Now that you've gone, I feel blue.
As going out to listener Amnon there, the sound of the Mighty Jupiters. What a cool name that is. I can do like a planet show. Songs and songs and titles around planets. The Mighty Jupiters there. And that Dolores Butler on lead, February 1958 release on Warner Records. High Walkie Tumba is the name of that tune. Let's continue now. And here is a request for Connecticut listener Mike Sape. Wants to send this one out to Jimmy Amato and Johnny G. And this singer, he's originally from Asbury Park, New Jersey. I still think he's actively singing today. Too bad he doesn't do this song. He would never do this song, would he? He should. He really should. But we're talking about Lenny Welch. Lenny Welch and an uncredited group. And it's his first of two on the Decca label, and it's from June of 1958 by request from Mike Sape in our YouTube chat room, and sending it out to Jimmy Amato and Johnny G. Lenny Welch and group on Decca with his tune called My One Sincere.
Is it
just you and I alone, my dear. You're my one sincere. Could it be your love or thoughts of you I'm thinking of, guided by the master above? Surely there will always be forever you and I. Love no one else, my dear. Always apart in my heart, that's clear. Just you and I alone, my dear. You're my one sincere. Just you and I alone, my dear. You're my one
That's early Lenny Welch. Lenny Welch is first of two on the Decca label, June 1958. My One Sincere, requested by Mike Sape. Send it out to Jimmy Amato and Johnny G. We stay in 1958, and this is a request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room. Now, my aunt bought this 45 in the summer of 1958 from this singer out of Locust Valley, Long Island. His real name was Robert Castro, but he recorded as Bobby Hamilton, and this was his debut single. It was his biggest hit, and this brings back a lot of memories to your host, Johnny G. Came out on the Apt record label, a subsidiary of ABC Paramount Records. This was actually a number 40 Billboard hit and a big number one record on a WBNY in Buffalo, New York. This is by request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room, June 58. Bobby Hamilton on Apt Records. It's called Crazy Eyes for You. This is for Timothy.
I've got crazy eyes for you, baby. I've got crazy eyes for you. Oh yes, my darling dear, indeed I do. Because I love you oh so true. I've got those crazy eyes for you. I
That's going out to Timothy in our YouTube chat room. The sound of Bobby Hamilton. Bobby Hamilton from June 1958, Crazy Eyes for You on the Apt record label. I think he had, that's his first of two, but he had later ones, I think, on Decca also. But that brings back a lot of memories, my Aunt Mary playing that record for me, plus others, of course. She was the one that really gave me the staple to listen to, to like this music. First of all, when I was in high school, my peers were like, "What are you listening to? That's pretty cool," and they didn't know anything about it. And of course, I didn't know anything about the music at the time, only what she had. But they became, and they listened to the show too. Robert Neal, one of my high school friends down in Florida, he tunes into the program. Other people also, Joe Piccarelli, other people tune into the show also. But anyway, it's just all in fun. It's just a passionate thing for me anyway. As we continue here, we are in 1958, and this is a request for listener Chuck Mitchell, and this is one of his favorite tunes. Wants to send it out to everyone in the chat room. We go back to California to Jake Porter's Combo record label. I really like this tune also, as this tune would be picked up 8 months later by Randy Wood's Dot record label. It features Carl White on lead. Carl White, of course, was a member of so many vocal groups during his career: the Crenshaws, the 4 After 5, the Lamplighters, the Tenderfoots, the Rebels, the Rivingtons, and this group, the Sharps. This is from January of 1958, featuring it on the original label, Jake Porter's Combo label, by request for Chuck Mitchell in chat, going out to everyone in chat. These are the Sharps with their tune called All My Love, parentheses, is Just for You.
Yes, you're gone, and I was wrong to tell you that I didn't love you so. Didn't mean a word, you know. Please come on back to me. I'll be yours rest of my day. My life is filled with misery. Oh, baby, can't you see that all my love is just for you? Whoa, whoa. It seems, my dear, you ought to know that long last love never dies. So think, my dear, please change your mind. Don't leave me here to cry. I'm alone. Love is gone. Life don't mean a thing to me. Oh, baby, can't you see that all my love is just for you? Whoa, whoa. It seems, my dear, you ought to know that a long last love never dies. So think, my dear, please change your mind. Don't leave me here to cry. I'm alone. Love is gone. Life don't mean a thing to me. Oh, baby, can't you see that all my love is just for you? That all my love is just for you. All my love is just for you. Woo.
That's the great sound of the Sharps there by request for Chuck Mitchell. That with Carl White on lead, January 1958 on the Combo label. All My Love parentheses is Just For You. That's a great record. I remember when I first got that, I was singing it because he really puts heart and soul in that song. He really does. That's a great request, Chuck. Thanks for requesting that. That goes out to all the chatters in the chat room there. Johnny G here on a Saturday night. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here. Let's hope that YouTube has given me heads up with copyright stuff. How could that be? You see, what happens is there's one of the copyright owners. They run it through the filter and then they drop it. It's still on there. I mean, there's nothing playing. So why are they still giving it to me? My talk, maybe? I don't know, but let's continue here. We are in 1958. Here's a request for listener Butch Ford in Hawaii. We go back to a gospel 45. This one's on Bobby Robinson's Fury record label. Charlene couldn't find any information on this group, and they're called the South Winds. And I collect this Fury label. I remember when Spence brought this 45 over. He goes, John, I got some records on Fury maybe you need. So this was in the box. I says, yeah, I need this Fury number what? It was 1017. And it's from 1958, I think somewhere around June 58. I was trying to pinpoint the month and the month, but I think it's June 58. But let's give it a spin here. The South Winds on the Fury label. This is going out to Butch Ford in our YouTube chat room. It's called Build Me a Cabin.
Oh, Lord, build me in the corner. Oh, Lord, I'm begging you with tears tonight. Build me a little cabin. Oh, Lord, I don't care where you put me, Lord. Lord, in the corner. Just so you build me a little cabin in the corner. Anywhere in your glory land. Lord, need you, Jesus. You've been my mother, father too. I know you helped me make it right on through. You've been my rock. You've been a shelter for me. You've been a shelter through a mighty storm. You've been a battle time of the battle. You've been my water, been my bread. You've been a doctor on my sick bed. And then, Lord,
That's Barak West for Butch Ford in Hawaii. Those are the South Winds, 1958. On Bobby Robinson's Fury record label, Build Me a Cabin is the name of the tune. I'm going to have to separate my collection and take out the, because right now I really had three separate, actually four. So I had my 1950s, and I would mix it with R&B, R&B, rock and roll, doo-wop, gospel, and kind of like rockabilly and kind of like country crossover songs. They would all be together. And I included stuff up to 1965, and I had some soul records in there. So now I started pulling the soul records out for the Wednesday night show, so I need to keep that separate, and I need to keep my soul records separate from my pop records, like Sunshine Pop or rock and roll, because that's another genre that I can do on one of those 1 o'clock shows. So now I have to keep rockabilly out. I have to take my blues out, and I have to take my R&B out. So I got to have and it might be better. I just have to remember where it is, because some of these records, especially toward the end of the show, can cross over to my soul show. So it's like maybe I should take out all my Motown except for the pink Motowns, leave them in my group harmony collection, and take out the other ones where it starts transitioning to soul. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try. But anyway, let's continue here. We are in 1958, and this is a request for listener Adrian Viterbo, listening in Mexico. He is in our YouTube chat room, and this is a great sound of California. This is on the Freedom label. The group is called the Four Dots. Now, of course, the interesting thing about this record is that the song was written by Jewel Akins. Now, Jewel Aiken, or is it Akins on this? Yeah, he's got an S. Yeah, he's got an S on his name. It's spelled, though, Akins. But it's the same Jewel Akins that had a #1 hit in 1965 with the song called "The Birds and the Bees." It came out on Era Records, a big #1 smash for him. But this is on Jerry Blaine and wait a minute. What's it say? It mentions on the label featuring Jerry. Oh, okay, it's featuring Jerry Stone and Jewel Aiken. So there's two guys on this. It says it on the label. Yeah, there it goes. I thought he was doing lead, but he is part of the lead here. Plus, Eddie Cochran is supposedly playing guitar on this. So who knows? But it's still a great record. Nevertheless, this is for Adrian from December 58. They're called the Four Dots. It's on the Freedom label. It's called Pleading for Your Love. This is for Adrian.
Oh Lord, what shall I do? Now you're gone, our love is through. Now I'm pleading for your love. Oh Lord, where are you?
That's going out to Adrian in listening in Mexico. And they like that one there in the YouTube chat room. Great sound of the Four Dots there, December 1958. That guitar, it's supposedly Eddie Cochran playing that guitar there. That's on the Freedom record label out of Los Angeles, California. Pleading for Your Love. Always love that record and never get tired of that tune there. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We continue here. And this is a request for Big Dave Swinger. We go to Bob Keane's Keane record label for the sound of the Valiants, Billy Storm and the Valiants. Now, this is a frantic, so I got to ask my UK listeners, the ones that will listen on the archive, of course, although I do have some of them listening now. I know that I have, we have, Tony, and we also have East End Mark tuned into the program. But sometimes Indrajit comes in too, but they request lots of those cool, probably Lindy dances, but this is a frantic song here by request for Big Dave Swinger. The tune written by Billy Jones, that is a.k.a. Billy Storm. He wrote the tune, and I think he's trying to sound like Little Richard on this. That's what I think he's trying to do. The flip side of this is an excellent tune. I'll play it next week. It's called, I think, Temptation of My Heart. I think that's it. But we're going to hear this side requested by Big Dave Swinger, March 1958, The Valiants on Keane. It's called Frida, Frida. So tell me, you guys in the UK, is that one of your Lindy dances there? Because that is a frantic tune there. Those are the Valiants there. Billy Storm and the Valiants, March 1958 on Keane Records. Frida Frida is the name of the tune. That came out, I think, again on the flip side of Please Wait My Love. But the first flip, though, of this is, I think I said it right, it's called Temptation of My Heart, which is a nice tune. We'll play that one next week, so stay tuned for that. Let's continue here. We are in 1958, and this is a request for Mike Sape, dedicated to the memory of George Tompkins, because George liked this tune. Now, last week, or a couple weeks ago, I think I featured the other side for Mike. It was called If I Had a Car. Let's flip it over here. The Miller Brothers, their first first of two on the Mercury label. This is a nice ballad from April of 1958. The Miller Brothers on Mercury, by request for Mike Sape in memory of the late George Tompkins. The song is called Try.
You'll never know unless you try. You'll never know what love can do. Long as you keep acting shy, afraid to let your dreams come true. You'll never know how much you miss. Your happiness might pass you by. Wonder what it's like to kiss. You'll never know unless you try. The flower of love is in each heart. To blossom, it only needs a start. And from the moment you're in love, you will understand the reason why. The thing that you've been dreaming of can all be yours if you will try. You never know unless you try. You never know what love can do. Long as you keep acting shy, afraid to let your dreams come true. You never know how much you miss. Your happiness might pass you by. Wonder what it's like to kiss. You'll never know unless you try. You'll never know. You'll never know unless you try. You'll never know unless you try.
That's April 1958 release there for the Miller Brothers on the Mercury label. Song entitled Try. That's their first of two by request for Mike Sape. That's in memory of George Tompkins. I think they have one more release later on in 1963 on Coed, a great record that they do. I forget what it is, but I played it for George and he loved the song. I'll have to pull it out. The Miller Brothers on the Coed record label. It's a great ballad. Anyway, I couldn't find that. I had that Billy Joe Royal mic. I didn't have enough time to look for it. I had to stop today or I wouldn't be able to finish with the show. So anyway, you got to get your requests to me early at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Sometimes not everything is filed in its right place. I need to organize this. I need elves here to help me do this. But anyway, we continue here. And up next, a request for listener Ronnie Sherman, who's watching Johnny G on his tablet or PC. And this is, we go to the Bronx, New York. We go to, I call it Zell Sanders' Dice record label, although I think she put it under her daughter's name, Johnny Louise Richardson. She put it under her name. But I say it's really owned by Zell Sanders. And this is, I think, this is the group's second single. Right, their first single was But Not For Me. This is their second single on Dice Records. I'm talking about the Clickettes from November 1958. These are the Clickettes with Barbara English on lead for Ronnie Sherman. The Clickettes with their tune called A Teenager's First Love for Ronnie Sherman.
Teenager's first love they never forget.
as Barbara English and the Cliquettes by request for Ronnie Sherman, November 1958 on the Dice label. It's called A Teenager's First Love. Greg Surik sold me that record. Yes, he was. Greg sold me a lot of great records in my collection. He did. We continue here, and we are in 1958. This is a request for UK listener Eddie Votex. This is one of their cool Lindy dancing records. This group out of Los Angeles, California. We go to Leon Renee's Class record label, and this tune written by Robert Byrd, a.k.a. Bobby Day, and they're called The Searchers. And I don't know the other members of this group, but Jesse Belvin, he's the lead singer on that. And this is from February of 1958. I think Brian Korn had this record. Brian, if you're listening or you listen to the archive, this record went for a lot of money in your auction, I think. I mean, I paid like $6 for this record. I thought I had 2 copies of it, but I think it went for a lot of money, maybe because they like this record over in the UK, their dance, their dance get-togethers on the weekend. But this is for Eddie Votex in the UK, The Searchers, and it's got Jesse Belvin on lead, February 58 on Class. It's called Ooh Wee for Eddie.
I went to see my baby, knocked on her front door, but when the door swung open, you should have seen just what I saw. I said, Louie, I'm gone crazy about you, yeah, about you. The room was dark and cozy, the lights were way down low, and you look so pretty, baby. I think I better go because Louie, I'm gone crazy about you, yeah, about you. So glad you're my pretty baby, so glad that I love you so, and I never let you go because Louie, I'm gone crazy about you, yeah, about let you go because Louie, I'm gone crazy about you, yeah, about you, yeah, about you, yeah, about you, yeah, about you.
There you go. That one there going out to Eddie Votex. Eddie Votex from February 58 on the Class record label. Ooh Wee is the name of the tune, with sounding like Over and Over Again, I guess. Bobby Byrd wrote the tune, but that's with Jesse Belvin. Jesse Belvin on lead for that one. We move into 1959 now with this request for a Texas listener, Jim Lampley, for this group called The Fashions. This song dates back to 1928. 1928. Did Gene Austin do this one, Charlene? I don't know if that's what it says, but the lead singer on this is Jackie LeCant, and she is a lead singer of a group called The Fashions. This is on Buddy Caldwell's V-Tone record label out of Philadelphia. We go to March of 1959 for Jim Lampley in Texas. The Fashions on V-Tone and their rendition of the tune Lonesome Road for Jim.
Look down.
down that lonesome road before you travel on. Look up, and seek your maker, for Gabriel blows his horn. Weary toiled such a load, traveling down that lonesome road. Look down that lonesome road before you travel on. I look down that lonesome road before you travel on. I look up and see your maker, for Gabriel blows his horn. We get so tired and weary, toting such a load, treading and a hopping and a bopping down the lonesome road. I look down that lonesome road before you travel on. Well, I'm walking on, keep treading, walking on, keep treading on, keep walking, keep treading, keep walking, keep treading, 'cause we're treading down that lonesome
slightly off center on that side. I should have played my orange. That was reissued on the orange label, by the way, that song. But that's the Fashions there. They're not a girl group. The lead is a female. Her name is Jackie Levant, March 59. That's for Jim Lampley in Texas. Buddy Caldwell's V-Tone label, Lonesome Road. But anyway, we continue here in 59. And this was a last-minute request for listener Ryan Heisey, although this was one of Kenny Mac's old requests too, so I guess we can send it out to Kenny Mac in our YouTube chat room. This group from Largo, Florida, they had 3 releases on 3 different labels, and all were local to Florida: Tri-Disc Records, Nugget Records, and Dream Records. Now, Ryan and Kenny requested their Nugget release, written by Ralph Stewart. He was the lead singer and guitarist for the group, and this is going out to Ryan and Kenny from April 1959. Let's give a listen to the Dreamers on Nugget. It's called Don't Cry. There you go. Those are the Dreamers there by request for Ryan Heisey and also Kenny Mack, the Dreamers on the Nugget record label from April of 1959. It features Ralph Stewart on lead. He also was the lead guitarist on that tune called Don't Cry. We'd like to welcome in the Oldies and More Radio Network here to the Vinyl Treasure Show. Johnny G here on Saturday evenings from 9 p.m. Eastern Time till midnight. We are in overtime now, and we are in the year 1959. We count down the music chronologically here on the 50s and early 60s edition. We go back out to actually this song is by request for UK listener Abigail Rocket Blast. It's on Lee Roop's Ebb record label. Now, Lee was the ex-wife of specialty record label owner Art Roop, and she requested the Hollywood Flames, their final release on the Ebb label, their ninth and final release on Ebb Records. It features Earl Nelson on lead. Going out to Abigail, June 1959, the Hollywood Flames with Much Too Much.
You're too much, too much. You and your burning lips of fire. You're much too much. Makes me burn up with desire. So kiss me once more, like you did it before. Then kiss me, pretty baby. Then kiss me just like you did it before. I never met anyone like you. If you give me all your love, I'll never be blue. You're much too much. When you tell me I'm as sweet as pie, you're much too much. When you love me all day and night, so take me by my hand and lead me on anywhere, pretty baby, to go. Anywhere, pretty baby, you want me to go. You and your burning lips of fire. You're much too much. Makes me burn up with desire. So kiss me once again, like you did it before. Then kiss me some more. Well, kiss me just like you did it before. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. Like you did it before.
That's by request for Abigail Rocket Blast in the UK. Those are the Hollywood Flames. Earl Nelson and the Hollywood Flames, their ninth release on the Ebb label from June 59. Much Too Much is the name of that tune. Let's stay in 1959 now. And this next tune, we're going to send this one out to listener Bill Obe. This is on the Gate label out of St. Albans, New York. This label owned by Alfred Gatewood, who actually wrote this song. Now, Alfred was a member of the Cufflinks, and he wrote their tune called Guided Missiles. You know that record? I like that record, Guided Missiles. But this group is called the Chevrons, and the Chevrons, I think they were out of New York City, but their name starting on this label is with a C, but it really should have been an S, because with their contract, when they signed their contract, the label, I guess, I don't know, maybe Gatewood or whoever, they changed the S to a C. And it was released, this is the first release of it. I actually have it all three ways that it came out, the three ways that it did. It first came out in 1959 on Gate 100. Then they re-released it in July of 61 as Lee Ward. And then there's one more time it came out again by Lee Ward. That was in 1968, and I think this record, I think it was put out by Wayne Sterling, put it out, and was Bill's favorite record. That's what I take it, Bill. You can tell me if it's not, but I think they did that. They wrote that in the dead wax there because it was your favorite record. So we're going to send it out to Bill Olb. This is from from 1959. This is the first way. It's the hardest as the chevrons on Gate. And it's with Lee Ward on lead. We're going to send this one out to Bill. It's called The Defense Rest for Bill.
The defense rest. I have pleaded my case. When you've done your best, the defense rest. Defense rest. It's not true what they say. I've been faithful every day. It's up to you to decide if our love will die. How do you find me? How do you find me? Now I am free. Please don't bother with me. I am free to go. It just goes to show when you've done your best, the defense rest. How do you find me? How do you find me? Now I am free. Please don't bother with me. The defense
We'll send that one out to Bill Olb there, the sound of the chevrons, CHEV-RONS. That is the true first press there on the Gate number 100 there from 1959, The Defense Rest. And then it came out again on Gate Records as by Lee Ward. And I think it sounds a little different, to be honest with you. It might be a different track. And then it came out a third time in 1968. It was actually a special deal that Wayne Sterling did with the label owner, that being Alfred J. Gatewood. They pressed it in 1968, probably for the oldies market, to buy a tune written by Alfred Gatewood. And if you check in the dead wax there's a special dedication to Bill Olb, his all-time favorite record of his. So we're happy to send that one out to Bill and hope he enjoyed that tune there as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And I didn't plan it this way, but it did come out that way. that we have a request next up for Gordy Freeman with a group called the Chevrons. This is a totally different group. This group is from Washington Heights, New York. They did 3 on Bob Shad's Brent label out of New York City. This is their second release, a tune co-written by Mickey Baker, and he actually recorded this song later in 1965 on an RCA EP called Mickey Baker, The Blue Sweet Melancholy. That was at, Charlene, is that released in France? So that wasn't released here in the U.S., Charlene. It was released in France. So anyway, this is from October 1959. This is a song I used to hear on oldies radio when I was growing up, when I was listening to CBS FM and Gus Gossard, of course. These are the Chevrons by request for Gordy Freeman. It features Dennis, I can't pronounce this name, M-I-N Minogue, M-I-N-O-G-H-E. He is on lead, well, really, and then she has here, a.k.a. Terry Cashman on lead, and co-wrote it. What? Spanky and Our Gang? Sunday Will Never Be the Same. Also produced records for Jim. Oh, that's what you're saying. Terry Cashman went on to produce records for Spanky and Our Gang. That's what I understand. Okay. Anyways, from October 1959, this is for Gordy Freeman, the Chevrons on Brent with their tune called Lullaby.
Bom bom de pity bom bom de pity bom bom de pity bom bom de pity bom. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my true love to keep till the day He decides to send me her love. May He watch and protect her from heaven above. Lullaby and good night, my darling, sleep tight. Although you don't know this prayer I recite, it's you I will dream of in my dreams tonight. For now and forever till dawn's early light. Lullaby and good night, my darling, sleep tight. Although you don't know this prayer I recite, if when I awaken and you are not here, I'll count every hour till dream time is here. Lullaby and good night, my darling, sleep tight. Although you don't know this prayer I recite. Bom bom de pity bom bom de pity bom bom de pity bom bom de pity bom.
That's cool doo-wop there by request for Gordy Freeman. They're called the Chevrons, October 1959. Their second of 3 on Bob Shad's Brent label. Lullaby is the name of the tune. We'll just say Terry Cashman on lead. Yes, Rob B. said he went on to record as part of Cashman and West. And Talkin' Baseball, I remember that record that came out. I guess he wrote that tune. They recorded that one. Anyway, let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures, and we move from 1959. Had nothing in 1960. I usually stick a date or a record with a 1960 date in there, but we're going to move into 1961. Now we go to Atlanta, Georgia with this request for Rick in Philly, a rare 45 on the Hunter label. And Greg Surik sold me this 45. Charlene didn't have any info on the group, but they're called the Continentals. This is from April 61, the Continentals on the Hunter label. This is for Rick in Philly, a very nice ballad here. It's called It Doesn't Matter. It's for Rick in Philly in the chat room.
It doesn't matter now that you've gone away. What does it matter when I call? Since you went away and left me, it doesn't matter at all. No, honey, no, honey. It doesn't matter, 'cause your love for me is gone. It doesn't matter, not as before. Since you went away and left me, it doesn't matter anymore. No, honey. You told me all those sweet things. You promised somebody new. And it doesn't matter that our friendship fades away. It doesn't matter about our love, no, 'cause I found myself a new love. It doesn't matter, lovely dove. Yeah, because I found myself a new love. It doesn't matter, lovely dove. No honey, no honey.
As going out to Rick in Philly, the sound of the Continentals, April 1961. That's on the Hunter label out of Atlanta, Georgia. A great ballad there. It Doesn't Matter is the name of the tune. I remember when Greg brought it here to the house, I played it, and he goes, "John, you need this record?" I said, "Yeah." And then it wasn't cheap. It wasn't four figures, but it was expensive. And it's styrene. Of course, he probably upgraded it. And speaking of Greg, if you get Echoes of the Past magazine, I think it came in today. I quickly went through it. There is a nice write-up that Chris Farellis did. Chris Farellis from Texas. He did a nice write-up about Greg Surik and exactly who he was and how he went around looking for the records. That was a good write-up, Chris. Was very nice to do that tribute to Greg. But anyway, we continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Here's a request for listener Paul Greco in Philadelphia, and he wanted to hear this group from Akron, Ohio. The lead singer, his name is Jordan Zankoff. Now, he would later change his name to Jordan Christopher. Initially, his group recorded as the Fascinations on the Youre label. They do a nice ballad called It's Midnight from 1960 on Youre Records, but then they moved to Queens, or he moved to Queens, New York, and his group became Jordan and the Fascinations. They had releases on the Dapt label, on Josie Records, and also on Carol Records. And Paul requested the one on Dapt Records. It's from May of 1961. We're going to play this side tonight. Next week we'll feature the other side. But well, which side? Of course, one side was a cover of the Eldorados tune, I'll Be Forever Loving You. That'll be next week. But we'll feature the flip side here. From May of 1961, going out to Paul Greco. Is going to hear this on the archive. It's Jordan and the Fascinations with Jordan Christopher on lead. It's on Dapt Records. This was a number 20 record on WNHC in New Haven, Connecticut. Jordan and the Fascinations with their tune called My Imagination. This is for Paul in Philly.
Are you as beautiful as I think you are? Or is it my imagination? Can it be love I feel? Or is it fascination? Is it love? That's in my heart I feel for you. Tell me, is it true that I'm in love with you? Tell me, is it true that I'm really in love with you? If it's so, then maybe I'll hold you tight, and I'll never, ever let you go. Oh Lord, I love you with all of my heart and soul. Tell me, is it true that I'm in love? My imagination with you.
There you go. That's going out to Paul in Philly, Paul Greco. That's a Jordan and the Fascinations, May 1961 on the Dapt record label. My Imagination is the name of the tune, and I forgot her name, but he was married. He was in a group called Jordan Fascination and the Fascinations. Later on was in a group called the Wild Ones. And I think they did the original version of Wild Thing, if I'm not mistaken. But he was playing a club in New York City that was owned by Richard Burton's wife. And then he ended up seeing her, and then they got divorced. Her name was Susan something. I forget her name. And then they ended up getting married, and then he died of a heart attack at age 52, I think. But he was an actor too. He was in a bunch of movies in the 1960s, 1966, I think. But he started as a singer there, going way back with a group called The Fascinations with It's Midnight. It's way past midnight here. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasures, up next, a request for listener Nat Papagallo in Naples, Florida. Your brother went to bed, Angelo. I'm pretty sure he did. He's got to get up early. But this group is out of Staten Island, New York. And they were brothers, Jimmy, Eddie, and Charlie Anderson. And this is their only release that came out on the Adore record label. It features Charlie Anderson on lead. This is from 1961. They're called The Impressions. Of course, not the Impressions of Gypsy Woman fame, far from that. But these are the Impressions from 1961 on Adore Records. For Nat Papagallo, it's called I Dreamed Last Night.
Dream, dream, sweet dream, dream. I had a dream last night about a star way up high. It shines so bright and clear. I know I could have touched her. My mother had woke me out of my dream. I thought about that beautiful thing. I said, now, Mom, is that true that I'm in love? So I had a dream last night about a star way up high. It shines so bright and clear. I know I could have touched her. She said, now, son, you're in love with a beautiful girl. I said, now, Mom, is that true that I'm in love? So I had a dream last night about a star way up high. It shines so bright and clear. I know I could have touched her. Sweet dream, dream.
As going out to Nat Papagallo, those are the Impressions. Charlie Anderson on lead, 1961. On Adore Records, I Dreamed Last Night is the name of that tune here. We are in 1961 now. Here's a request for listener Adrian Viterbo, listening in Mexico. He is in our YouTube chat room. This is an Al Brown discovery, and some of you may think that the Lost Night, this came out on two labels, Lost Night Records and Zara Records. Some of you think the Zara press is the first. It is not. It's actually the second press. This first came out on Lost Night Records. I don't know anything about the group, but they're called the Veltones. The Veltones is from April 61. I was deciding, should I play the Lost Night? The Zara records sound like they might have it was recorded differently, but I like the way the Lost Night release sounds. So we're gonna play that release for Adrian from April '61. These are the Veltones on Lost Night. The song is called "I Need You So" for Adrian. That's going out to Adrian in our YouTube chat room there. The sound of the Veltones. The Veltones. The flip side is a cool up-tempo. It's called Now, but that's the nice ballad. You can tell it kind of sounded like one of the Cress records there for a little, one of the refrains there. But those are the Veltones. April '61 on Lost Night Records. I Need You So. Here, I'll play a little bit of the Zara release. It's the same. It's just I think it's recorded differently. Let's see. Here. It's a little bit. It's. I think it's basically the same record, but they maybe the way they recorded it, maybe they're more up front or whatever. So anyway, that's a cool record. Either way, that's going out to Adrian in our YouTube chat room. Winding down here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We got 1, 2, 3, 5 records to go. 5 records to go before we sign off here. So we go back to this request. We go to Philadelphia with this request for listener Nat Papagallo. this group. I think this group is of Latino origin. That's my guess. But this is on the Big L record label. The group is called the Cosmos. I like both sides of this record. I actually might flip it over because I like both. I really like this record, but I like the flip side a little better. 1962 for Nat Papagallo in Naples, Florida. The Cosmos on Big L out of Philadelphia. It's called Angel, Angel.
Angel, angel, ooh, angel, angel, ooh. Why was I such a fool?
I'm guessing they're out of Philadelphia because it is a Philadelphia label. It's a Philadelphia press. I think it's got EK in the Dead Wax, which is a Philadelphia pressing plant. And the song is called Angel, Angel. That's by request for Nat Papagallo, and it's on the Big L record label. We're going to flip it over here, give it another instant request for Ryan Heisey, only because I want to hear this side because I like it a lot. So we're going to flip it over, and I don't know what's the A side. This is the intended A side, by the way, this side. These are the Cosmos from 1962, and the name of the tune is called, in parentheses, I Feel You're Torturing My Heart. We'll send this out to Ryan. I know, Ryan, have you been tortured? Maybe.
I feel like crying. I feel like dying. I feel your torture in my heart. I feel your torture in my heart. I carry lonely tears in remembering of your
That's going out to Ryan Heisey in our YouTube chat room. Those are the Cosmos, 1962 on the Big L record label. I Feel You're Torturing My Heart is the name of that tune here. We stay in 1962 with a request for listener Mnon. This group is out of New Orleans, Louisiana. It's their Lone 45 that came out on Harold Baptiste's AFO label, also out of New Orleans. AFO, do you know what that stands for? It stands for All for One. And this tune co-written by group member Arthur Booker, who I think is the lead singer on this, from May 1962. Let's give a listen to the Blenders. The Blenders out of New Orleans, going out to Mnon on AFO. It's called It Takes Time.
To whom it may concern,
To whom it may concern, I'm hoping that some young lady comes along and alleviates the pains in my heart, and she and I can possess a stationary, everlasting affair of romance that can be manifested by love and devotion only.
but it takes time. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes time to find a girl. But there's a girl out there for me who knows that I'm so lonely, but it takes time. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes time. A whole lot of time.
To whom it may concern, but please don't look upon me as a blot on human intelligence and that I shouldn't be allowed to matriculate, because I know that the solution to my problem demands an irregular approach. I'm a lonely boy without a girl, and deep in my heart I'm willing to wait, even though I know that it takes time.
Those are the Blenders by request for listener Mnon, May 1962 on the AFO record label. Song entitled It Takes Time. 3 more 45s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyltreasure show. Up next, this request. This is, well, who is this? This is Joe Shacatano, I think. Charlene, I didn't copy this in. I think this is Joe Shacatano, if I'm not mistaken. This is their second release for this group. Their first release came out in 1960 on the Scarlet label, a song called I Said a Prayer. That is a rare 45 too, written... Actually, the lead singer was Tiny Tip. He was 14 years old back in 1960. So here he is again 2 years later, 16 years old. It's on Leonard Chess's Chess label from 1962. And I think this is Joe Shacatano. I didn't copy in the... I don't know why it's not up there, Charlene. I can't see it. But it's their second release for this group, Tiny Tip and the Tip Tops, June 1962 on Chess Records. The song is called Matrimony.
Now we're together. Matrimony. I'm so happy that I love you only. I'm so happy. So let the bell go. Matrimony means we'll be together, not for a little while, but forever. I'm so happy. So let the bell go. When we were courting, you never knew. Oh, my darling, I love you. Oh, yes, I did. But now matrimony should fit to you. So, darling, let the bells go down. Matrimony means we'll be together, not for a little while, but forever. I'm so happy. So let the bell go. Matrimony.
There you go. That's going out to Joe Shacatano in our YouTube chat room. That's a nice ballad there by Tiny Tip and the Tip Tops, June 1962, on the Chess label, song entitled Matrimony. Two more 45s to go before we sign off here. Let's go to Vince Rago's Richie label out of Wilmington, Delaware. This is a request for listener Nat Papagallo. He wants to send this one out to all you guys and gals in the chat room. And this group is called Johnny and the Dreams. Now, the lead singer sounds to me like it's the same lead of the Sinceres that recorded Please Don't Cheat on Me on the Richie record label. That's what it sounds like. And If You Should Leave Me sounds like the same lead. This song did receive airplay on WAMS, which was out of Wilmington, Delaware, and this comes two ways. I have it on red vinyl, also was issued on black vinyl, but it's harder to find on the red vinyl. From March 64 for Nat Papagallo, Johnny and the Dreams on Richie. It's called You're Too Young for Me.
You're too young, you're too young, you're too young for me. You're too young, you're too young for me.
You're too young, can't you see? But I still love you, darling G. There's only one
record really never had a chance in 1964, not when the Beatles were there, but to the oldie crowd it probably did. That's for Nat Papagallo, going out to all you guys and gals in the chat room. March 1964, Johnny and the Dreams on the Ritchie label. You're Too Young for Me. I should send that one out to Dave the Rave is what I should do. But anyway, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to cool 50s and 60s, 45s out of my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, send me your requests. Charlene is begging you to send your requests to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com, because then I forward them to her, and then I follow up with her. Charlene, did you put all these down? And then she does. And then, she puts the dates in, and I sort by date, and then I mix and match your requests and see how many we get. But we get a lot of requests. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Hope you dug all the tunes tonight. Well, not all the tunes, but at least you heard some stuff you really haven't heard in a while, or things that you like, and maybe you put on your want list. That would be a good thing. But thank you all for that, and I just hope you enjoy the thing. I get so much enjoyment when I listen to these. This is really the only time I do it. And you could ask my mother. She knows I spend a lot of time here preparing, and I do it like it's a couple days to prepare for the show, but I gotta find the records, and if you don't go back and put them in order, it is a total mess. I need filers here is what I need. But thank you all for tuning in tonight, and we're gonna close the show tonight with a request for Kenny Mack. Kenny Mack is always the first one to send me his requests, either on a Sunday morning early, or actually on a Saturday night tonight. He was the first one to send me his request for next week already. But this is a request for Kenny Mack as we head to Brooklyn, New York for this group. It's on a Philadelphia label. It's on the Swan label. The tune written by Joe Veneri, and it features Eddie Almodovar on lead. This was a number 22 record on WAAT in Trenton, New Jersey. Our closer is from February 65 on Swan. The group is called The Encounters, and the song is called Don't Stop. But Johnny G's Gotta Stop Now. That's it for tonight. Thank you all again for tuning in. I'll see you here next Saturday night beginning at 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight right here. Send me your requests. I'll see some of you this coming Wednesday for the Soul Show. So if you like soul music, like Tony does in the UK, and others, tune in on Wednesday night. And then then we'll have the Saturday show, and the following week I'll start with the Monday afternoon show at 1 o'clock. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see how much time I have I want to do it Mondays and Fridays also, but in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. There's a lot of listeners that come in on the archive. It's too late for them to stay up. I figure at 1 o'clock might be okay, but there'll be different genres of music. So you're going to see different music from my collection, which maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. But either way, thank you all again. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Everybody, enjoy the Memorial Day weekend as we remember those that have passed for us, gave their lives to give us our freedom. And that's what we represent Memorial Day for. So thank you all again. Be safe, be well. I'll see you next time right here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Just want to say, everybody, so long for Kenny Mack.